Hello queens, angels, and goddesses. Welcome back to my channel. Warning: this contains boy love. And if you don't like it, then please get off my channel. Water pistol. Grinning face with cowboy hat. Hinata Shoyo was a lovable boy with everlasting stamina. He could literally survive through so much and his volleyball team didn't know half of it. That stamina had helped him a lot. Hinata was biking back from school as he normally would, but today, he did not have Kageyama on his tail and his destination was different. He was going to Hatsetsu. I tried looking up how far apart they were but couldn't find it, so we are going to assume they are pretty far. Hinata was going to be staying there for the weekend to work on his figure skating before an upcoming performance. At least it wasn't a competition. He would be using his figure skating name, as always, which is something he had always done as he led a double life and didn't want his volleyball team to know about it. Hinata wasn't very close to a rink and this held some disadvantages. His passion for ice skating was giant, just as much as for volleyball, and he would go out in his garden practicing jumps. Needless to say, he wasn't doing quads there, but it was enough. He was always excited to go to Hasetsu because he got to stay with his coaches, Victor and Yuri. They acted like a married couple half the time, they were only engaged. And I almost forgot to mention, Hinata's training partner. He is the amazing, the great, the best figure skater in the world, Levyaku. Dude, I forgot to say, I left out on purpose that this was in Lev's perspective on Hinata. Full stop. The last night Hinata met up with Victor and Yuri and stayed in his room at their place, the room he shared with Lev. They were both around Hasetsu often enough. Today Hinata woke up early, or rather early for most people but at a normal time for Hinata. It was about 4 AM when we woke up, making sure to have a shower, bring outside a volleyball and practice a few serves and also get his skates ready. It was 5:30 when they had to leave for Ice Castle. Practice left no remorse on the young skaters. When did it ever? They hadn't had food yet and they were already pushing themselves to the limits. The ice rink was booked out as usual. They didn't want the press coming in for 4 internationally famous figure skaters. They started off with basic stretches and a warm-up. They were already tired when they were just getting started. Soon they got the hang of it. Jumps, star jumps, squats, high knees, butt kicks, repeat. They did that for about 10 minutes when they moved on to stretching. They stretched about everything you could think of and all 4 males had extremely high levels of flexibility. They then finally got their skates and guards on. Yuri and Victor both had jackets to accompany them. They were matching. Once Hinata finally got on the ice, he was exhausted, or would have been, but he had an endless amount of stamina. He finally felt at home on the ice and he started going round the ice, starting with just some forward stroking and crossovers. He transitioned into backwards and then started some more advanced moves. He started off with slaloms, forward, backwards, one leg forward, one leg backwards, and then moved into step sequences. Once he was done with that, it had already been 10 minutes. Then he started by going through his jumps, first flips, single, double, triple, quad. Once he was satisfied, he moved on to the other jumps, saving the axle for last. Once he was fully satisfied with all his jumps, it was time to move on to his spins. He started with basic spins like crossfoot spin and back spin and then moved his way up through sit, camel, change camel, flying sit, flying camel and then moved on to combinations. Now was the part Hinata hated. He had to practice Ina Bowers and spirals. Full stop. The skate session was over and all 4 men exited the rink hot and sweaty. They had warmed down with a few stretches afterwards and were looking forward to getting some shut-eye. Tomorrow they were working on their programs. Full stop. Levyaku, came the shout from the park. What? Lev sounded somewhat annoyed but instantly regretted this decision as he was probably Yaku's least favorite child. We're here having a team meet-up and you're leaving. Sorry. Yaku got mad at this comment but tried to calm down. He had told the whole team about his plans to confess to Lev and now he was leaving. There was no way this was happening. There was no way Yaku was going to live out his whole life having missed this opportunity. Levyaku looked up to see that Lev was already gone. He sighed. Alright boys, let's follow him. The whole of Nakoma ended up listening just so they could get some tea. Time skip brought to you by Kenma abandoning his video games for tea. What Nakoma saw at the ice rink surprised them. Lev, long-legged, clumsy Lev, was doing figure skating. He was graceful. They clapped. Why are you guys here? Lev questioned. In the rush of the moment, Yaku's cheeks heated up and he felt them go a bright pink for a second when he said, "I love you." He was greeted by a hanging silence for 1 second, but it felt like forever. Then clapping, then his cheeks flushes red. That was a good sign, a good sign. What exactly did it mean? "Will you be my boyfriend?" Lev beat Yaku to the chase. Yes, it was such a simple reply, but it was so powerful. They both felt like kissing each other, but at the same time they both felt like dying. Their lives had been completed, they had found the missing piece of their puzzle. Time skip brought to you by KNMAK It Tai and Shit Tai Bo Wise. Nakoma had come to celebrate this wondrous occasion, not because Yaku Lev sailed but because all of their team was LGBTQ+, and they had invited people from all over to come join them in a party, where they may or may not play a video of Lev skating. The teams invited to the party had to have at least one gay club member, preferably more. The teams were Fukurodani, Shiratorizawa, Karasuno and Aoba Joshe. Full stop. The party was pretty usual until they played a video of Lev skating. On the sidelines was Hinata, and with his iconic hair color he wasn't sure if people would miss him. He was right, somebody saw him, and that somebody was Oikawa Toru. Warning: this fanfiction does not belong to me, neither does the fan art. Credits to the original artist and author to the fan art and the fanfiction. Haikyuu does not belong to me either. Well, bye children, smiling face with hearts.